My grandmother's grandmother's grandmother was owned by the plantation owners that owned her. In addition, that man was her father. And my grandmother would tell me this story over and over again as a child, and I never really understood it. But the short of it is that her half-siblings, the little white children, secretly taught her how to read and write. One day it was discovered that she could read and write. She was severely beaten. She was sold. The white mother had always wanted to sell her, but the father resisted because it was his child. She sold. The day she sold, my grandmother's mother is running behind the old wooden wagon pulled by horses that's taking her away. And as she's running down this dirt road, screaming and crying that they not take her child away, a rusty nail falls from the bottom of the wagon. She picks it up, she puts it in her pocket, she keeps it. Years later, she buys her daughter out of slavery. That nail comes back to the family. That nail has been passed down on the matrilineal side of my family. I have that nail. But my grandmother said, I tell you this story because someone just like you nearly lost her life because she could read and write. I wanted to be an oceanographer growing up. I was obsessed with science. And she said, your job is to tell this story and many stories. And I just gave you the abbreviated version of this story because she was actually the property of her 3-year-old half-sister. My grandmother would tell me the story over and over again and talk about the importance of communication, the importance of language, the importance of having a voice. And she said, your job is to write. So this is what I tell my students. Sometimes you set out to be one thing in life, and your life's work finds you. So that story, that nail, because I believe that what we keep keeps us. That nail is really my North Star. That nail is holding the DNA of generations of men and women in my family who were resilient, who pushed through, perseverance, strength, courage. And on my worst days, or those days when I question myself, where I feel my worthiness is being compromised, I go to that nail. And that nail, the DNA of that nail reminds me of who I am. And that telling, the power of utterance, is so very important and so urgent in this time right now. So that's my North Star. It's that nail. I would also say my mother and my grandmother. But they're also inside of that nail.